Hey guys, I'm here at Grandma's house, lovely Grandma, and I thought that I would talk to you guys for a second about a dog and a hike that I took while I was in Alaska. I started hiking just straight through the marshes upriver, which it was a terrible idea. I mean, it was really hard to get anywhere. And as I'm walking, all of a sudden I hear, this crashing behind me, and I look back and I see a flash of brown, and it's Alaska, so I'm like, oh great, here we go, and here's a bear, and I turn around to see this beautiful tiny little puppy dog that just had come out of nowhere and had been following me. I just kept on walking upriver, and the dog just kept following me and hanging out. It would play in the little creek and the marshes and just was just having a blast. And I named him Champ the dog. I mean, it was obvious that this dog belonged to someone. It had a collar on it, but that was it. It didn't have tags or anything. And I mean, this was it was a little puppy, and we were just companions for the day. And we would walk and we'd play. We'd get out to the river bank, and he would just be jumping around in the water and acting like a little kid. And the more that he acted like a little kid, the more I found myself acting like a little kid. I was digging holes with Champ in the bank of the river, and we were sliding around together, and he would run up the bank of the river and then come crashing back down and sliding into me, and we just had an awesome time. And the day's going on, and the sun is starting to get towards the horizon. It's Alaska, so it takes forever for the sun to set in the summer. But it was getting later, and it was time for me to start heading back home. So I started cutting back from the river to get to a road, and assumed that the dog would just kind of stop following me, but it didn't. And we just kept walking, and it kept just hanging out with me, and everything was fine until we got to the highway. And it was very obvious that Champ did not understand what a highway was at all, and he just started running in the road, and there's not a lot of traffic, but there were cars coming by, and he almost got hit. And so luckily I had some line in my backpack, so I kind of got him to the side of the road and kept him distracted and got out the line, and I made a makeshift leash out of this line, which took forever because he did not like it. And then it became very clear also that he had never used a leash before and did not know what this leash was, and just kind of thought it was a game. And the rest of the time was really tug of war. I mean, I was trying to walk this puppy down the highway as the puppy was just fighting me and playing with me and just would do everything except walk. And it was just a complete disaster, and I had no idea what I was going to do. And I couldn't just, I had fallen in love with this dog, and I could not just leave him, and I was not about to let him just run around on the highway. So what I ended up doing was picking him up and carrying him on my shoulder, because he would not use the leash and he wouldn't stay out of the road. So I just decided to carry him on my shoulder, which worked great for, I don't know, a couple miles. And then, I realized just what a terrible idea it was to try and carry a dog, because, even if it was a puppy dog, it gets heavy, and I had a pack on. Yeah, so I gave up on that plan. We kind of took a break and reset, and I just continued to try and drag him down the side of the highway with no real idea of what I was going to do with this dog, or how I was going to get it back to his owner. And then all of a sudden this car pulls up next to me, stops on the highway, and says, "Hey, I think that's my dog." And I guess it turns out that someone who knew the dog was driving down the road and saw me trying to, you know, drag this puppy down the road, and they knew whose dog it was. So they called the owner and said, hey, there's some random guy carrying your dog down the highway. And so she came out there, and it turns out that he had ran away. And I was able to give the dog back to his owner, and it was just a beautiful day. And I will never forget that dog. So, I hope this encourages you to do something. You might not find a dog, but, you know, maybe you'll find a cat or a bird or, you know, or turtle. There's turtles. I don't know. You know, or maybe, you know, maybe you find a human, another human, you know, befriend another human. I befriended a dog, but maybe you befriend a human, I don't know. It's not gonna happen if you're sitting on a couch or at a desk. You gotta go find that little dog, that little bird, you know.